come to just reminisce about some things. Yeah, still laid up, can't walk. It'll probably be a while before I can place my foot on some solid ground. Uh, I had them two major operations on my feet, so and they wanted to take it, but I wouldn't let them take it. So I have to uh, I have to stay bedridden until I'm able to put some pressure on my feet to see the condition that it might turn out into. But I pray peace upon y'all families this morning. I pray peace upon y'all loved ones who are incarcerated, women and teenagers. Uh, Thought I'd just come and reminisce about uh, how prison is, cause prison isn't a joke. When I first went to prison, right, and or my first time going to jail, and I I wasn't uh, afraid, and I believe not being afraid uh, it enhanced my criminal life. And what I mean is that when I came to jail and it was violent, I was able to entertain the violence. If for some reason I wasn't scared, I didn't have that fear in me. I had what you call a protected mentality of myself. But I seen guys come into jail and was terrified and was scared. Some of them got turned out. Uh, a lot of them got turned out inside the jail, not just so much a prison. But when I went to prison my first time, I was on Ferguson, and before I got to Ferguson, a lot of guys knew who I was before I had gotten there. That was from Houston because of my reputation in the county and my ability to fight. And so uh, when I had gotten into prison, and really I didn't get opportunity to see prison for what it was. And prison for what it was uh, it wasn't no joke. It wasn't no joke at that time. And what I mean by wasn't no joke, men didn't play in prison at that time. Men didn't uh, deal with you because if you heard somebody call another man a bitch, it was finna be a fight. And see, back then when I was growing up into the institution, they used to say catch the square, and you caught the square, and you got your paper, and it wasn't about uh, if a person called you out to the square, all you had to do was go and fight, because it wasn't about just so much winning and losing. It was about fighting. Is you gonna go catch that square? Oh, you gonna get out there for yourself, and that's basically what it was about, and that's basically what it's about even right now today, when you in this prison, because prison is not nowhere where you just think it's fun and games. No, it's no joke, people. Prison is where you can lose your manhood. Prison is where you can uh, lose your life, and it's not so much as being a joke in these institutions, even institutions that's not so uh, physical. They even much can turn overnight to a violent facility, because the inmates, like I told you in some of my videos, inmates are basically trying to get out. They're trying to get out of prison, but but in that same token, uh, they have a mentality of trying to stay out of trouble in prison, because prison is not a joke. Prison can enhance your time of stay. Prison can enhance your way of thinking in a negative way. And see, and this focus is what we have to be on, because prison is not a joke. Prison is not a joke, people. Prison will have you incarcerated all your life just through because of your behavior. And when I say this too, right? Uh, they would seg you. They would seg you and put you in one of them cells way in the back of prison, which is called 12 building, and leave you. They would leave you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's a blessing. There's always a blessing to be able to uh, receive something from someone. Uh, I, 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 you know, you guys amaze me, right? And what I mean by y'all amaze me is how, y'all feel about my channel, y'all feel about me, and it shows, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that. And and whatever I can do towards as bringing what y'all feel that will enhance your thinking ability when it comes to prison, because my talk isn't for people that's really facing time. My talk is for the people to stay out of trouble. And I really thank you for that. I really thank you. And but I've I decided about something when I was in prison. I had to come up with a way of thinking, because I knew where I was wasn't so much of a joke, because it was really physical at that time. Men was crying at night. Men was moaning at night, being raped, being used as women. And you had those who acted like women because they couldn't fight. They couldn't fight, and some could fight but wouldn't fight. And that was crazy, because I just didn't understand. I just didn't understand why would someone allow somebody to punk them, right? And that's what jail does even right now today. Even right now today, if you go in this place and you weak, that's what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get used like a woman. You're gonna be treated like a woman. And because all you had wouldn't do is fight, and all you have to do is fight, people. All you have to do is fight, win or lose. Win or lose. It doesn't matter. Fight. Fight for your manhood. Fight for you because you say you're a man. And then you have these dudes, right? And they be in these institutions and so called talking about how tough they is, but when they get into them, they catch that meow. They catch that pussy. And as a man, you can't do that. As a man, you got to be man up to who you are. Because if you're out here getting in these trouble, people, and you a coward, you in trouble. You in trouble because prison is not a joke. Prison is not somewhere where you just think you finna go and ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Something is going to happen to you. Somebody is gonna do something to you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Uh, I'm always thankful, people. I'm always thankful because I made it out. My third time going to prison, I did 20 something years, and I made it out. And not only did I make it out of that place, I made it out with a sound mind. I made it out not having AIDS. I made it out not indulging in the punk gang. I made it out all because of God, who I prayed to, and I gave him my time long time ago. And this is how I feel. See, when you pray to God and you ask him to do something for you, he does it. He does it. He does it. And you have to believe that. You have to believe that and stand on that, because that's what it's about, having faith. So, when we're facing a situation that is the unknown to us, they say they taking us to this prison that that's that's physical. It's physical and it's known as being dangerous. But when you go into these places, people try to intimidate you because you're new. People try to intimidate you because you're a white boy. They look at you and try to size you up. But as a man, as a white man, a Mexican man, or a black man, we we go to these places. We have to be what we are coming into the gates, and that's a man. That's a man, because these prisons still has the same type of mentality. They had the same mentality, playing games with a man to try to play him out his stuff, try to play him out his booty. All these things goes on in all institutions. Ain't no institutions where people are just sitting there thinking of trying to get out. You're gonna have people trying to get out, and you're gonna be having people that's trying to stay into them places. They trying to stay. I uh I remember a time, and there was this guy. He had a punk, and him and this punk, they was really like they was married. They called themselves husband and wife. And well, one of the main reasons why I kept going back to prison was because I wasn't settled with myself. I wasn't happy or satisfied with what was taking place in my life. So I either got back in the game, or I fell short and started using drugs again. And it's a consequence in going through this. It's a consequence going through uh, negative things, making them decisions that don't make sense, making them decisions where it could cause you to lose your freedom. So I lost my freedom several times to prison. But back to the story is that I knew this guy, he had a pump. Okay, appreciate that. Pray up. Uh, he had a pump, and they used to call themselves husband and wife. And when you uh, in these kind of relationships with these boys, that's the relationship that's tighter as husband and wife, right? Well, it was this guy. We stayed on some dorms. It was upstairs and downstairs dorm, and it was the kind of dorms that didn't have no lock. It wasn't. We wasn't locked in. We could go upstairs or downstairs. Well, one night it was late, and It was this the punk and his man got into it with another guy, and the other guy was kind of big guy. He was kind of big, you know. They got into it with that big guy. At this time, we had uh, metal trash cans, metal dustpans. Uh, we had metal trays, metal pitchers, in there, and that's what people used to use as weapons. Well, this guy and his punk, the guy started fighting the black guy started fighting. So after the fight was going on, they uh, they beat this man. They beat this man so much with the dustpan. And when I say beat him, they beat him almost to death. And you can look at this for what it was, because prison is not a joke. Wasn't no security upstairs, wasn't no security downstairs when this was taking place. So that man beat that man with that dustpan until he got tired. Until he got tired of beating the man. And the punk was indulging in it with him. They beat this man so severe that they had to life flight him away from the facility. And we just think, people, we just think how we place our lives in these places, and not thinking about how dangerous these places could be. Not thinking about how physical people can get inside these walls. Because prison is not a joke. Prison is not a joke. And some really think that prison is a joke. Some think that prison really is a joke, but let me tell you something. Prison is a place where you can lose your manhood. It's a place where you can lose your life. Because it's not a joke, people. It's not a joke. Every day inside the institutions, people are getting raped. People are getting beat up. People are getting stabbed. Why? Because prison is not a joke. It's not a place where you think that ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You can try to stay out the way. You can try to stay out the way. Still, somebody is gonna mess with you. Somebody gonna mess with you, and when they come mess with you, that's when you gonna have to show your hand. That's why you gonna have to show if you a man or a punk. That's when you gonna have to. And let me tell you something. Man, I had this big old dude in my cell. Big old, I'm talking about on the weightlifting team. Big old dude. Man, they had me in that cell with him. So, I'm in the cell with this big old guy, right? He was a punk. He was a bluefoot. A bluefoot. A bluefoot is the ones that they bisexual or something. They just ain't came out the closet all the way. Big old ass dude. Big ass chest. Thighs. So I knew he was gay is when one night we was kicking it. We talking and everything, and he got up and sat down and peed. Who do that in front of another man? Because I'm a man. The man got up, talking to me, went to the commode, sat down, and peed, and got up. Like a bro. I say, oh man, this nigga here's a hoe. Ain't that something? But what happened was, he had been around me long enough and he started trusting me and thought he can come out, of his shell. But I had already heard through the grapevine him and this other guy was gay. But I'm on East Sam now. I'm on East Sam at this time. And so many things were taking place Gates on the Gates side, on East Sam, that it was sad. Because a lot of your young, good looking men was in the game. They ain't had no years. And then this the time where AIDS really wasn't in the state of Texas. But when them dudes, yeah, we're gonna do a part two. Get at me 737-360-7423. 713-360-7423. Call me so we can go on and do that part two. I can get at my producer. If you get at me today, we'll try to do it if I can. But cause I can't move around at this time. But if you call me, the Hodges unit. Well, I used to be over there. Now I'm thinking, is that the Hughes unit? Is that the Hughes unit or the Hodges unit? Because I was on the Hughes unit in Gatesville, and when I was on the Hughes unit in Gatesville at that time, you didn't have hardly no women work there. Wasn't no hardly no female workers there. It was all males. So you can imagine what it was like working. Yeah, okay, same unit. Same unit. I was there. I had been there. That's why I first got to a unit and met dudes calling themselves Woods. White boys was calling themselves Woods. They was coming. They came out with this little old gang called Woods. That's the first place I had ever seen or heard of them. But and Hughes was a real physical unit at that time because you didn't have women. You didn't have women, so it was all male officers that down there worked there. So the unit stayed, with tension. It stayed fired up. Dudes. I'm talking about, man. I seen this dude, man, one time. This black dude, he was snitched, and they know he snitched. So he snitched on the white boys. So the white boys took it up on their own initiative to beat the black dude up. They beat his ass. And at that time, Hughes unit, uh, it was a lot of the Mandingo Warriors ran that unit. Man, the Mandingo Warriors seen what they did to that black dude. Man, they smashed them white boys and they told them that I don't give a damn about him snitching on y'all. You let us violate him. Y'all can't violate him. See, uh, white boys can't violate blacks. White boys can violate white boys, but white boys get violated by the Hispanic or the blacks. That's how it was at that time. And they just took it up on their own initiative to violate the black dude. I'm talking about beat him down, had a guard all around his head for telling it. Okay, you can't snitch and think that ain't nothing gonna happen to you because prison ain't no joke. Prison ain't no joke, people. You will lose your life behind something that don't make no sense. Behind something that don't make no sense. You got these dudes getting inside these little hookups with one another, calling themselves players and all this here with the women. And all they do, they get busted and they tell it on the women. And calling themselves real. I told them, don't call me real. Don't call me real, cause it seem like all the real motherfuckers are sucking dicks, messing with punks and snitching. And that's just how it seemed. Because see, if you real, ain't nobody gonna know what's going on. Totally impossible for you to know what's going on.
You just can't figure that out. You just can't, because you too real. You too real. But you got to be real with yourself. You got to be real with yourself before you can be real with anybody else. Cause guess what? Prison ain't no joke. Prison ain't no joke, people. If you're weak, you'll be abroad. If you can't fight, you're gonna be abroad. You're gonna be where somebody can over. They're gonna do you, because prison is not a joke. They don't care about how, the way you are. They don't care about what you're trying to do. They'll take advantage of you and make you into a broad. Prison ain't no joke. This is Andre Wade with Just Release. Ain't no telling what I might come back with. But guess what? You know I'm gonna come back with something.